Hi everybody, Hassan Shariq, regulated Canadian immigration consultant. My prayers and wishes that all of you are doing great wherever in the world you are. In this series of videos, I am going to talk about basics of Canadian skill migration, more specifically the express entry requirements. And this particular video is about the Noc code or the occupation code. Now, a lot of people get confused as to what is the Noc code. So in Canada, all professions are classified into different categories. This is called the National Occupational Classification, and there is a 2016 version which is used for purpose of express entry and other Canadian skilled migration streams as well. So all possible professions that are there, they have divided them into few categories, which is based on the skill level. So that's skill level 0, A, B, C, so on. And each skill level means that how senior that role is and what are the educational qualifications required generally for that particular profession. If you would want to apply for express entry or any other PNP program which is focused on skilled migration, you are required to nominate your profession, which means you are required to nominate a Noc code. So your Noc code will be a 4-digit number which will have a sort of a title and the number, and which will state as to what profession you are. So just giving you an example, there is the Noc code 0124, which is for marketing, advertising, and PR managers. So anybody who's from within this field will nominate this. And the way it works is that there is no pre-assessment that you have to have done for this. If you just go online, there is a website. I'll share the link. You just go online and there are various ways of searching this. So either you could put in the Noc code, if you know the Noc code, or you just start typing broad title for your profession, maybe like engineer or civil engineer, and then you'll see some lists or some options coming in front of you. So once you open any specific Noc code, you will see that it will give you detailed description about that particular Noc code. So say for instance, if you're talking of 0124, it will say marketing, advertising, PR managers. It will give you as what we call as the lead statement. So lead statement is like a brief description, one statement or two statements, which briefly summarizes the duties, the roles that this particular profession carries out. And then there is a list of main duties. So these can be elaborate, maybe 5, 6, up to 10, 11 different duties. And these are the duties that people within that particular occupation or Noc code should be doing on a day-to-day basis. Now, once you create your express entry profile, or you are creating your expression of interest for a provincial nomination program, you are asked to nominate a Noc code. At that stage, you're not required to provide any documentation, but you have to have a look at the main duties, because later on, once you're invited, you will be required to submit a reference letter. To ascertain which Noc code you are fitting into, your experience letter, the duties, the responsibilities that are mentioned on that should mention the lead statement, which is, as I mentioned, usually at the top, 1 to 2 statements. And it should also, like your work experience letters, main duties and responsibilities should also mention a substantial part, a substantial number of the main duties which are listed for that particular Noc. For most of the Nocs, which is not a licensed profession, educational requirements are important, but they're not mandatory. So maybe if you have a degree in business, but you've been working as a web developer, this could still work out, and vice versa. So that's not a hard requirement, but say if it is a licensed profession, then yes, it might be required, because you cannot be a surgeon if you don't have a qualification for that. So that's how you pick your NOC code and nominate it. And once you will receive your invitation from the PMP program or under Express Entry, you will be required to provide work reference letters, which will prove your NOC code. But if you have within your main responsibilities, the main duties, a substantial part of the main duties, and the lead statement for sure mentioned in your work experience letter, you will be considered to have worked in that particular NOC code. So that's how you look for your NOC code, and that's how you prove your NOC code.